Today's topic, my friends, 3D versus 5D and other. Now imagine December 21st, 2012, the aspectual interference in integration mechanisms of Earth crossing into a higher dimension took place. What does that mean? People say you're talking high level, complicated words. I can't fathom the pictures. So I'll try my best to assist you in transposing that image into an area that is more perceivable. Put it this way. Everything that you're living in right now is the remnant of 3D. 3D jobs that people had, life creations, thought concepts, conceptual thinking, combinations of thought patterns linked to three-dimensional existence. Straight up survival. Struggling, working hard, working more than earning. Not having ideas, not being creative, not being spiritual, not being deep in a sense as in having the awareness that you are that. So now imagine the movie The Matrix and a stage set that was used where the transition took place and Neo was trapped in that stage that was called Mobile Ave. That was a set. So now imagine that set had to do with going from 3D to 5D or back. It was like a gateway. It's like a state of being. So that is a movie set that was built then. Now imagine 5 years after the production, you're going back to the movie set and you see the set. You can choose to play on the same set with the same limitations and the same laws and rules and regulations that that set had. But now have the awareness you're no longer obligated to go back to the same three-dimensional set. Mindset, movie props, all that is here is a stage. This is a great holographic display of existence. And you are basically part of this. So now, when people go back to the three-dimensional mindset, they can spend a long time explaining the entire world why they are not wrong. And, sorry, I have this little fly here. Why they're not wrong. Why the rest of the world is wrong. And everything is being projected outward to everybody else that's wrong. And people are busy with storylines of all other people except themselves. That is three-dimensional spiritual vampire activity. Meaning they need a storyline, they need a drama. Ego needs the drama to feed on, to produce a storyline that they can say, see, I told you. I've been telling you this, and this. That is called interdimensional insanity. These people are not really ready to make the crossing. Even the crossing has taken place. It's like you took the ferry from one island to the next, and you are on the next island, but you keep talking on where you came from. And you're so locked on where you came from, and where you came from is better, and everything that was over there was better. And eventually, when your system and your egoic concepts collapse, and you can't make it in that place that you first came into, you were gifted to come here to work your craft, to be in your purpose and nothing but your purpose. When that collapses, you can witness people saying, you know what? I don't need this here. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need everything here. It's all BS to me. I'm going back to where I came from. Not admitting to themselves that they can't make it. They're not ready to handle these energies, that they have to go back there and come back and recalibrate. No, there's no admittance. They're not wrong. The entire world is wrong. And we're just simply here to explain to you, you no longer have to make the choice to go 3D and go to where it's upsetting. The main thing is you can catch people that talk about the mundane and generic topics forever and ever and ever and ever, and why this didn't work, and why the butcher didn't have the right meat, or why the raw festival didn't have the foods that I was looking for. Always making it complicated why stuff does not work for you. To these people that live that, the message is that you no longer have to, and you're no longer obligated to project that upon other people that are going that path. Here's what can be learned. If many masses appear, look at them and observe and see how it works for them and how they are in the flow. Follow that to find your own route. That's what I learned in 3D in the 90s when I first met my Kung Fu teacher. I kept my mouth very quiet because he was 30 years deep in Wing Chun. I had no idea how that works. I watched a lot of documentaries, I had a lot of theory in my head, but I didn't have the reality check. The reality check comes in when the training begins and the teacher goes, well, show me what you have. A lot of beings, or so-called spiritual beings, claim that they're Jedi or even Grandmaster at Jedi level. And when it comes to, okay, where's your lightsaber? Or what are the Jedi codes? It's not there because they can't deliver. It's all a front, it's a cover, it's a facade, and it's time to look through that people and friends that want to deal with you because it looks like you got it made, and that has nothing to do with how much money you make or where you are. It's about what you are allowing in your life to do. Whether you dress up like this because I like it, or whether you do stuff that is out of the ordinary or non-generic, help people to remember that they're more than they think they are. So they will try to pound you with what they think they believe is right, and you're not right. And even if you try to convince them, it doesn't work. You can't convert these people, you can't convince these people. They are in their dimensional aspect by choice. They are doing what they deem for them is right because according to their spiritual development. That's where they need to go. And the idea to get clearance is look at the work chores that can be done. I would even say that must be done. Let's say you want to create some stickers, you wanna buy some iced tea, you want to get into some business. Make a list in what you are wanting to create. What's stopping you to create that? What's holding you back? And how can you manifest a way of creating a pathway that you surround yourself with people that can actually handle that, work it out, and move forward? And you can only do the best by helping and converting yourself and leading by example. And it's like on quantum physics, you have the molecules that has the highest resonance, the most input, the most downloads, the most manifestation skills in influencing this reality. The other molecules will naturally get in resonance, and that's how nature builds itself. That's how DNA comes together. That's how enzyme bridges are being formed, RNS, DNS, cell connections. So the message now is you no longer have to build a 3D set. You're now allowed to be crazy. Build an elliptical house, build a five-dimensional set, create an idea like the Jetson family from the 60s, that cartoon. Be futuristic. Have a kitchen that is all overlesque and pearlesque colors. Go crazy. Go out, and doesn't cost much to recreate your life. Maybe you put a spaceship or an insignia on your car. Be a captain, be a Starfleet commander, play the role. We play these roles online and deem it normal. Warcraft, Starcraft, we get the ranks, all this. Why not integrate that, playing that game, into your life, into your business, into your well-being? Heal that aspect and understand that you're an intergalactic citizen and bring that forth. So the message is you are now allowed to build other dimensional things. Have a, I don't know, have a fruit blender that looks like some time machine. Look at futuristic objects or furniture and bring that in three-dimensionally. In this dimension, change the physicality of what is, and the surrounding environment can respond, because the environment is actually the blueprint of your projection. And if you can change that, your cells will change. You check Dr. Bruce Lipton, he has proven that with a petri dish. Surround a weak man with trained and muscular guys, the guy will develop a sensory of the brain has to produce more muscles. Surround a sick person with healthy beings, vital beings, and everything they need to get healthy. Trust me, the healing aspect will accelerate 500%. There are many things that can be applied in life that people don't look at that are now here. Opportunity, use it, get well, get better, rise up. It's your choice. Be crazy, step out of the mundane, do something. And even if somebody says, well, look at this is not authentic, why would I listen to a guy in a costume? Why would I listen to a guy that looks dressed like a janitor? Why would I listen to a cop more? because you fear authority. See what your programming is. Why would I listen to somebody who wears an Armani suit that's $5,000 and is in the lobby of the Marriott five-star hotel? Why wouldn't I listen to the bum in the street that maybe has some valuable information? Why would I listen to somebody that's deemed schizophrenic that has seemingly information? Because we don't know where information comes from. We don't even know what our actual value system is, and it's time to recalibrate, accelerate, amplify, refine, and lead by example. And if Ambassador Krista Ra wants to join me and has something to say, I would welcome you into this video as I'm stepping to the side. Thank you.
Greetings! Thank you for taking a moment to listen to my message about detachment. This has to do with the acceleration that we are all experiencing and have been experiencing for at least the past 2, if not 3 years, as far as our perception of time is concerned. It means that the velocity of our acceleration is increasing to a point where time simply collapses. Many of us have already experienced collapsed time in the form of synchronicities, coincidences, and weird events, our environments talking directly to us, to our subconscious. And as a result of that, we've begun to retrieve lots of information from our subconscious. And also with that has come an increase in psychic ability. It has been for many a very celebratory moment where we have connected with each other, realizing that on some level we have all come from the same tree and are simply experiencing life as different branches or leaves of the tree, finding our soul families, kindred spirits, and twin flames and the like, this kind of energy. These are all words simply to describe the energy that we are experiencing. So, as we accelerate, many of us are having difficult tests in detachment and walking away. I personally am going through this, and one way that you can get guidance for any difficult situation is to do something random. For example, oracle cards are an excellent way of communicating with your guides, because also with ET family, because when you are in routine, they cannot contact you because you are so super focused on your... For some people, getting out of routine is extremely difficult. And this has to do with lower chakra issues, because routines and habits are somewhat a form of addiction, if you could see it that way. Some of you may disagree with me on that idea. However, habits are often cover-up stories for not having to deal with something very painful. So we involve ourselves in ritualistic behavior to not have to face something that is coming up to be healed. And this energy is forcing a purging, especially with the eclipses and the solar activities and the influx of negative ions that has been happening over the last couple of months. So what do if you witness this kind of purging? Because we are going through purging ourselves. If you are a healer, you will need more energy. You will need to replenish more than those around you who are needing healing, because you are directing energy constantly. And for many of you, your sole purpose is to direct energy. That means you are to say, these resources must be placed over here, this must be facilitated in this way, and these people need to manage this over here. Some of you carry ancient wisdom from Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, all the way back to other galaxies, and you have come in with that wisdom and are needing to apply it now. So many of you are needing to step up into roles of leadership and directing energy. Some beings are now doing it on a small scale, not even realizing that they are walking into their purpose, and therefore they are trying to direct you, the healer, and this is not necessary. For those who are needing healing, do reflect to them that you are not the therapist, and do learn to detach and to walk away. This is extremely important, because it is forcing both you and the person to be healed to focus on what they are needing to do. As a healer, if you are feeling overwhelmed, you are needing to focus on your own self and your own interests. If you are someone who is needing of healing, it takes recognition of the fact and conscious action steps to focus on self and healing the self, because without that self-healing, you are deemed somewhat useless to the collective. And as we accelerate in our psychic abilities, we are able to map out beings and their choices and their cognitive responses in several ways simultaneously. Simply being in the same room with another person, you are in an exchange of bioplasmic streamers and an energy combination. If you were to see the coding of this energy combination, would you choose differently? That's the question. So learn to walk away. Know that you are doing it in love for yourselves, and learn that you are important, and know that you are accelerating, and therefore what you see can be uncomfortable, but that is psychic experience returning. That is your birthright. That is your tool that you will use to help others and thus help yourselves. So look forward to the accelerations, and notice that your increased sensitivity is a gift, and do not worry about the upsets you see in your environment. It is supposed to be that way, and it will be a beautiful unfolding. Thank you very much for listening.